Hello, this is Bonnie Rivera with Prayer Ask Gifts, and I'm so glad you've joined us today. We are on day 6 of our 10-day healing challenge, and today we're going to look at thoughts that can impact our health, specifically thoughts of bitterness and unforgiveness. So when we feel anger and bitterness towards God or towards others, it has a horrible impact on our health. It can increase our risk of heart attack, cholesterol levels, sleep. It can increase our physical pain, blood pressures, anxiety, depression, and stress. It can even increase the risk of some types of cancer. Dr. Henry Wright, in his book Exposing the Spiritual Roots of Disease, talks about when women come in with breast cancer, if it's on the right side of their breast, he knows they're having a problem with another woman who's not a blood relative. Girls, we got to love our mother-in-laws. And if they come in with cancer on their left breast, about 80% of the time, it's because they have a problem with a blood relative, usually either a mother or sister, he said. Girls, we got to love our families. So we must learn to forgive. Our life and our health and our breast health depends on it. So let's look at two different types of bitterness. Number one, we can be bitter against God because sometimes He does things we don't understand. We don't know why He's doing them or why He's allowed them to occur. But we must remember that God is holy, that He loves us, that He cannot sin, and that He will right every wrong, either in this life or the next life. Knowing how much He loves us can increase our trust in Him. We also need to understand that sometimes we lack knowledge about what goes on in the spiritual realm. We see this with Job's friends, that they didn't understand that God was actually bragging on him, and that's why he was going through his problems. Also, the crucifixion of Christ looked horrible in the physical realm, but it was a huge, huge victory, and it was heaven for us in the spiritual realm. Bitterness towards other people can occur when they've wronged us or someone we love in some way. But it's extremely serious because we're acting in God's place as judge on that person's actions and motives. We're not God. We're not the judge. If bitterness isn't dealt with, it can progress into resentment, anger, hatred, and violence. Also, forgiveness is very important in Christ's teaching and in His example. When He died on the cross, He said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Charles Spurgeon said, "Unless you forgive others, you read your own death warrant when you repeat the Lord's Prayer." So now with an understanding of the impact to the body, the impact to our soul, we see the truth of this statement. We must learn to forgive. So how do we do that? This is our challenge for today. So our challenge is to forgive everyone for everything using the 3 steps below. Number 1, we need to admit the pain that's been caused. And there's no point in denying or trying to repress the pain. Number 2, we need to take that pain to God and release the pain to Him. And then as Jesus, as our example, prayed for the people who wronged Him, we need to pray for the person who's wronged us. Step 3, we need to step out of the judge's seat and let God be there. The other thing to keep in mind is that forgiveness is not an emotion, it's a decision, and you may need to make it 100 times a day. So that's our challenge for day 6. We'll be back and see you tomorrow. Thanks.